Alright, here I'm going to show you how to apply shellac thin coats to your wood. The first step is to add a coat and let it dry. Overnight would be the best, and then you're going to come back and sand it the next day and then continue the process in thin coat. So first I'm going to stir this up. You don't want to shake it and you don't want to stir it so it gets bubbles. So if the lid's on, you can use this tool to pry it off. I'm going to take a small cloth like this and I'm going to fold it and I'm going to bunch it up into a little ball like this. Just hold it in my fingertips like so. And I'm going to start with the box. I'm going to start with the bottom of it. I'm going to dip this in. This is non-toxic. It won't hurt your fingers. It'll actually make your fingernails a little stronger. And I'm just going to wipe this on. I want to make sure that it's thin. I don't want a lot on there. Some of it will soak in. And I'm just going to continue around here and do the bottom. Just get on the inside here. Real thin layer. And I'm going to move on to the top. Or the sides. The end grain right here, this will accept a little bit more. You want to make sure that you're not getting too much on there because this will dry and make it a little bit too much. Won't look good. So just a real thin layer. Alright, I skipped ahead here a little bit. I've done all of the sides. I'm going to finish up with this side here. Notice that I am putting it on with the grain, so I'm going along with the grain here, not across the grain. And then this tool here with the screws sticking out is going to keep it from touching the paper and sticking to it, because this is sticky, it'll act like glue. So I'm just going to finish up with the top of this, real thin layers with the grain. Look for any dry spots. And then when it is wet everywhere, I can move this very carefully over to the shelf, making sure that I'm just touching the edges or the corners so I don't get my fingerprints on it. Alright, here I'm going to finish up my lid, making sure that I don't put my fingers on it so that I don't get any fingerprints on it. Alright, there, the top's done. Clean up the edges here a little bit. Alright, now I want to make sure that I don't put the lid on. So this is like glue, so if I put the lid on, it's going to dry, it's going to stick there. So if I have to, I can set my lid like this, it'll be a little better, but really you need to put them on the shelves separately. Alright, I've waited a day. It's been one day after applying my first coat of shellac on my wood, and if you feel it, it's going to feel a little rough. And what you're feeling with your fingers is that when you get this wet with the shellac solution, the little tiny fibers on the surface of the wood, when they dry out, they all pop up like little hairs. And we don't want that, we want this to be smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to sand this down with some high grit sandpaper, either 320 or 400 grit sandpaper, so it's very fine. We're just going to lightly sand this very gently just to break off all of those fibers. Now you can feel it just after going over it a little bit. So we're going to do that to all of the long grain surfaces on the lid and on the box. Make sure that you're sanding with the grain, with the lines of the wood. Alright, now that I sanded it down with that fine grit sandpaper, I'm going to continue to add thin layers of the shellac about every 15 minutes. So in one class period you can get 2 or 3 layers, thin layers on. So I'm going to finish this. I'm going to set it to dry over here on the shelf, and then I'll wait 15 minutes and put on another coat. Alright, 15 minutes has passed. I'm going to check and it feels dry enough. So I'm going to add another thin layer to this. And then I'm going to wait another 15 minutes. I can come back and put on another coat. The more coats you put on, the better.